What if I told you that 70 years is half of what you should be living? What if I told you that we could reverse however old you are now? So you're 50? What if by following a simple program, an easy program, a program that is absolutely capable of being followed by everyone watching right now, that I could knock in 2 years, if you followed, I could knock 5 years of your biological age off? What if you're 70 and we could make you 60? What if you're 80 and we could make you 70? And not just that, what if the diseases of arthritis, heart disease, dementia, forgetfulness, fatigue, what if we could eliminate those completely? Now, I'm not promising you can live indefinitely. That would be false. But I am promising you that we have the knowledge, we have the science, we have the wherewithal to stop disease. That I will promise you today. You do not have to be sick. And if your doctor or anyone else tells you that, well, your heart disease is inevitable, high cholesterol is inevitable, they are wrong. We are at the threshold. We have the knowledge to reinvent the genetic sequencing within our body, and we have done it. Many of you have done it naturally. And by the way, that should make people wake up and pay attention, because in this program today, you're going to find out how some of you have given up your medications, reversed your aging process, and done it with ease. You change your diet, you change your attitude, you change your stress levels, and suddenly the years start rolling back and the diseases are not going to be manifested. Disease can only exist where there's conflict. In the absence of conflict, there is bliss, and bliss is where healing occurs. So let's go on our healing journey.
Gary Null is an internationally certified clinical nutritionist and educator. This 3-part anti-aging program helps you repair, rebalance, and rejuvenate your body, mind, and spirit. How to Live Forever begins with rebuilding the body. Now, here's Gary Null.
I'm Gary Null, and we're here today to show you how, yes, it is possible to reverse the aging process naturally without genetic engineering. We're going to look at all this in 3 parts of our program: repairing, rebuilding, rebalancing, and rejuvenating body, mind, and spirit. A little bit about myself. I hold a PhD in human nutrition and public health science, undergraduate degrees in the same, also a doctorate in psychology. I've been a competitive athlete, a research scientist, socio-clinical professor of nutritional physiology and public health science. I've been an educator and an advocate for better health. In fact, for the past 25 years, I've devoted almost all of my time to studying how do we slow down and reverse diseases. I've accomplished this by producing award-winning documentaries and books and scientific articles of all kinds. I teach people every night in classes, and I hold seminars on how we can understand the body in disease and wellness. So that's what I'm about, and that's what this program is about. And for the last 10 years, almost all of my work has been in how to reverse or slow down the aging process. This culminated just a few weeks ago in what was the first study of its kind done in this country. I took people, many of you, a total of 307 people from the general population, who wanted to see if it was possible to reverse the aging process and do it naturally, no drugs. And I put them on a broad spectrum program. Diet changes, which I'll get into later in specifics, nutrients that are not normally found in adequate amounts in the diet. I put people on a high chlorophyll diet. Chlorophyll is the blood of the plant, and it is what detoxifies the body. And I'll get into detoxification a little later, how we detoxify, cleanse, rejuvenate, revitalize, repair. So I completed that 1.5-year study. For those people who stuck with the protocol, who stayed with it, the results were nothing less than spectacular. We had people who had had allergies for 30 years, gone. Arthritis, gone. We had people who had dementia. People who were taking 5, 10, and 15 medications. Now they're taking no medications. And they wean themselves off naturally. People with elevated cholesterol normal. Blood pressure, normal. One man has lost 100, his name is Kevin. He lost 155 pounds in a year. And he did it without dieting, eating normal amounts of calories, but he ate different calories. So change is easy if you have a program, and I have a program. I'm going to give you the program a little later on in our discussion. If you change your diet 100% confident that you can change it and you stick with it, you will change your life. I'm going to show you something of where disease starts. Why do we get old? Myth number 1. The basic 4 food group will not keep you healthy. It will cause disease. It is the primary cause of disease. Human disease is caused by many of these foods. Sugar's at the top of the list. Get the sugar out. If sugar were invented today for the first time, it'd be banned as a toxin, as a poison. It would never be allowed into our system. This is what goes into the average person. A lot of it's disguised. You'll see the word glucose, corn syrup. Well, grape sugar, it's all sugar. And all of it is bad for your system. It feeds yeast, it feeds bacteria, it lowers the immune response. This is how much sugar the average American has each day. Now, would you take this and just eat this right now? I don't think so. But that's one of the reasons we're overweight. Now, this is a pizza. The average American eats a pizza. What's in a pizza? Well, you got pepperoni. Pepperoni is an interesting phenomenon, isn't it? A meat that doesn't go bad cannot be good for you. And it's got cheese, that's a common allergen. And it's got wheat, that's a gluten, that really will blow up in your stomach. That's why a lot of you have distended bellies and indigestion. By the way, one of the reasons you get tired in the afternoon for about 2 hours is because of wheat in the sandwich or in the pasta or something. It has an effect upon the brain of causing brain fatigue, that brain fog. So you get rid of this and suddenly you have more energy. Question, just from the audience, how many of you after giving up on wheat and dairy found that you could think clearer, you had more energy? Look at this, all these hands of these people. It's just one example. Now we have all kinds of chocolate. By the way, chocolate has a lot of caffeine, and caffeine is a central nervous stimulant. It'll stimulate your central nervous system, and it's got dairy in it, it's got sugar in it, so you got 4 bad things in chocolate. Any food that makes you feel good is bad for you. Food is supposed to be good for you, not make you feel good. It's like heroin. Heroin will make you feel good, cocaine will make you feel good, alcohol will make you feel good, but it's all bad for you because it's creating an artificial state of feeling. Caffeine and sugar will do the same thing. Why do you think you crave certain foods? And why after about 3 or 4 hours not having that food, you start to feel irritable? It's because you're going through withdrawal. This is a milkshake. They tell us you never outgrow your need for dairy. Wrong. You never outgrow your need for calcium. Isn't it amazing? Common sense. One thing Americans do have, they don't always apply it. The 5 leading dairy consuming nations in the world, and the United States is 1, England's 1, France is 1, we have the highest incidence of osteoporosis. Now, if it were true that dairy helped prevent osteoporosis by giving us calcium, then we shouldn't have any osteoporosis. But we have the most. The 5 nations that consume no dairy have no osteoporosis, statistically speaking. Like the Japanese. Japanese women, by the way, have 400% less breast cancer than we do. Well, you don't see them drinking milk. They drink soy milk. They eat sea vegetables. We don't eat sea vegetables, and that gives them calcium. You get 10 times more calcium in dry weight from a sea vegetable than you do from cow's milk with none of the allergens. We're swimming in a sea of allergens in our society, and that's unfortunate. Sodium in the diet. The average American consumes over 10,000 milligrams of sodium a day. Teenagers frequently have over 25,000 milligrams of sodium a day. A fast food meal right here, 5,000 milligrams of sodium. And we wonder why we have hypertension, kidney disease. Well, there's no mystery. Yet we were told and we trusted that if we ate the basic 4 food group, we would be well. That's the problem. Now, that's not the only problem. You do have a genetic predisposition. You do have an environment which causes pollution. We live in a very toxic sea with over 100,000 man-made chemicals. None of those have been tested to see if they're healthy for us. We swim in an ocean of hormones from pesticides, which can adversely affect whether or not you get cancer or not, and whether or not you get prostate enlargement and toxic cells. Now, to the degree that we can identify the toxins in our environment, we can eliminate them. So, stress, big killer, big ager. Bad diet, environment that's polluted, fluoride and chlorine in the water supply, really bad for you. So those are the major culprits. The first step in any anti-aging program is detoxification. Now, historically, when we mention detox, we think of, oh, gee whiz, a drug addict detoxing or an alcoholic. No, this is not a Betty Ford detox. This is an anti-aging, cleansing, revitalization, rejuvenation program. You cannot be healthy taking some vitamins or something into your system at the same time taking garbage in. You can eat garbage and then take vitamin C, think you did yourself some good. No. This is not an instantaneous cure. This is not a magic panacea. You got to work at it. You worked hard at your career. You worked hard at your relationships. You worked hard raising your children. Why not work a little bit on your body? You're the one who benefits from all this, no one else. You're going to stay younger and healthier longer. I think that's a pretty good investment to make. I'm going to go through and show you how easy it is to be healthy and inexpensive. Remember, the key to anti-aging, the key to stress, de-stressing the body is revitalize, nurture, feed. If you are what you eat, why would you want to be a Twinkie? Why would you want to be a hot dog or a pizza? So we are going to be what we eat. We're also going to be what we think and believe in. But in this segment, here's the way you should start today, and we're going to start right away by de-aging. So here's how I would start the day. A fresh glass of juice. Now this is a glass of juice. This has chlorophyll. This has about 5 different vegetables. In fact, vegetables on this table. It has some collard greens, and it has some lettuce, it has some kale and broccoli in there, and some spinach. Now, if you want to change the taste, you could throw in some apples, some pears, and it would be terrific. So this juice cleanses, detoxifies. So if you and your children and the people who are over the age of 50, if you had 4 glasses of this juice a day, you'd eliminate most of the aging process. Now, what else detoxifies? Virtually everything here detoxifies. Brown rice instead of white rice. There are over 9 different types of rice. Fish, you want fish? Absolutely. Why? Because salmon, cod, herring, mackerel, sardines have fats in them that help protect your heart and your arteries and your skin and your brain. This is heart food right here. These are the foods that will help you rejuvenate. Cauliflower has got over 100 different phytochemicals in it. Cabbage, you want to help ulcers? You want to help gastrointestinal conditions? Cabbage. When was the last time you had cabbage juice? Juice the cabbage. Carrots. Carrots a lot of people don't eat because they say they're high in sugar. Compared to what? The sugar here has got a teaspoon of natural sugar compared to what? 39 teaspoons? Isn't it interesting? Stay away from those carrots, get too much sugar. But I'll go over here and have 40 teaspoons of sugar. We're very conservative when it comes to health, and we're very liberal when it comes to disease. We've got it opposite. We should be very liberal about health and very conservative about disease. We've got our beliefs upside down. That's the kind of way they play with our mind. Carrots, parsley. When was the last time you actually ate this on anyone's plate? If the average senior citizen was into rejuvenation, revitalization, repair, these little sprouts would be in their system. But most time it's on a plate as a garnish and it's taken off. You juice this and see what this does for your libido, for your skin, for your lungs, for your kidney. Yes. Sweet potatoes and tofu and lettuces and Swiss chard and squash. Squash has got a lot of calcium and magnesium in it. And cucumbers. By the way, cucumbers are a natural diuretic. It helps flush out toxins. It's a great liver flush, a kidney flush. And tomatoes. Tomatoes are rich in lycopene, anti-cancer. Have tomato juice each day. Now, of course, all this food and eaten in proper amounts, not excessive, you're going to lose some weight. You're also going to exercise. You're going to gain the muscle mass, lose the fat, and you're going to cleanse the toxins out of the system. So it does make a difference what you eat. So right off the bat, the number one reason is we eat the wrong foods. It's not going to be simple for you to give up some of this stuff, but I got a way you can do it. I got a way you can do it, and it's easy. You can do this. I'll get to that in just a little bit. You're going to see in just a few moments how average people, just like you, took their lives and turned it around. And it wasn't hard. It's easy being healthy. It's hard being sick. It's easy reversing aging. It's hard to age prematurely. And you'll see how. I'd like for you to meet some of the people now who have turned their lives around and have helped others by an example. Hi. Come on down.
Hi, I'm George.
Hi. George.
I lost 40 pounds since April of last year. I walk, I run every day, I bike once a week. I feel happy, and I'm enjoying myself. I used to be sick all the time, taking off days and days of work. This year I've had 100% attendance at work.
100% attendance?
Yeah,
Has your mood changed?
Absolutely. I let stress that used to bug me last year just fall right off my back, and I laugh about it.
See, now you can laugh at things that used to been out of shape.
Absolutely.
Do you believe in yourself?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe you have the power to change?
I'm changing it as we speak.
Good. All right, thank you.
Hi, Gary. In 1995, I was hospitalized with 3 bleeding ulcers, had 2 transfusions. Because I couldn't work, I listened to your show. I got into the weight loss program. I only lost 10 pounds, but I lost a lot in inches, you can see. But I have no more ulcers. It used to be an excruciating pain every time there was a change of season. And I used to bleed. And I didn't go to a doctor with it. I just thought I could handle it at home, and I never handled it correctly. But this is the first year that I have absolutely no pain, no bleeding. I have no more ulcers. I'm eating oranges, I'm squeezing lemons, and I feel great.
All right.
I'm Lorna. Since last August, I lost 50 pounds and counting. And I have no doubt in my mind, as I did from the day one of this program, that by next year, I'm going to be an athlete. I'm going to be, a slim little thing.
All right.
Yeah.
It came about because you just weren't heavy overnight.
Yeah.
And what makes this program that you're on different than all the other programs you've done?
Well, I changed the way I've been eating. These are healthy choices. Before, I think I was doing it in order to lose weight. Now I'm doing it in order to be healthy.
Now I got a question. How healthy do you want to be? All right. Where I grew up, you were never given that option. However healthy you were, that's as healthy as you ever be. Now I'll add one other thing. If you don't use the information that we have available, as of tomorrow, when you look in the mirror, that's as young or as healthy as you're ever going to be the rest of your life. But if you use this information, you can start reversing the aging process. You can get rid of wrinkles. You can grow hair new. Everything you thought was inevitable, it's not.
Part 2, Rejuvenating the Mind.
I'd like to welcome you back. In this segment, we're going to talk about the mind, your mental condition, how to beat stress, rejuvenate your aging brain. We're going to discuss how the mind can make us ill, the real cause of disease, and how the mental state of Americans is the #1 killer. It's not a drug, it's not something within our environment, it's not just the diet, it's attitude. And questions to ask yourself about, are you willing and ready to make the changes you need? Now, when you talk about anti-aging, and that's what we're doing, reversing our aging process, getting younger, as some of you have done. For example, just a show of hands, how many people in here feel that after being on this program that we're asking people in this audience to try, that after a year you feel that when you look in the mirror you're actually seeing a younger face? Okay? All right, good. The average American is overweight. Almost 100 million Americans, 100 million, are chronically ill and out of shape. Why? Why? We walk around beating up on ourselves, and if we're not, someone else is emotionally, and we're under chronic stress. So now when you come to see me, I don't start with diet. I start with, let's get you in the right state of mind, because if you get in the right state of mind, then you'll stick with something, because you'll want to. Whose life are you living? When you wake up each day and you look in the mirror, who do you see? Someone who has mastered the art of living someone else's life? Who's worked hard? Who's been diligent? Who's been responsible for everyone else but not for themselves? Who feels guilty about taking any real attention to pay for themselves? Who would give all that they have to someone else but give almost nothing to themselves? Why? Well, we've got to get back to where we understand unconditional love of ourselves and start to really embrace what it is to redefine new goals no matter what age. Remember, your mind creates a thought. The thought that you think about then creates an emotion. The emotion becomes a feeling. Every single thought that you have, positive or negative, is instantly transformed into trillions of biochemical processes. Every single cell of your body becomes what you think. And we can actually map now over 17 biochemical steps going from a stressful thought to hurting your heart. We have what is called the stress hormone cascade. Cortisol and epinephrine and norepinephrine and adrenaline and catecholamines. You may not have heard of any of these, but these are the real causes of disease at the physical level, because once you think a stressful thought, an anxious thought, you're feeding the cell negative energy, you're feeding the cell biochemicals that are destructive, and quite simply, you create heart disease, cancer, arthritis by your thoughts. It's the #1 killer in America, our mind, but it's the #1 healer. Which do you want? It's a choice. Now, ask yourself, how would you evaluate your mental health? Are you overstressed? Do you respond poorly to stress? Do you stay positive, or do you immediately go to negative? Do you look at everything as being critical of you, or are you proud of what you have and what you've done? Do you feel that no matter what you do, it's never going to be good enough? Or is what you've done the best you can do and therefore you're happy with it? Think of it this way. If you were to die today and you were to be judged upon how you are today, would you feel that would be an honest legacy for your life? Or are we always planning for the future and forgetting about the present? Because we're always having the past chase us for things we never resolved in the past, so we're trying to resolve them in the future. So we have no present. If you want to de-stress, get into the present. Stress is not going to have the power to overwhelm you in the present. It's when you keep thinking about your unresolved conflict and your inferior sense of being, or all your insecurities and all that you thought you would have to overcome from your past, that you have no present, because everything you do is being judged. It's not your mind making these decisions. You know the hard part of this is, your thoughts are not your own. And almost never are thoughts real, because we react. We've been conditioned to react instead of reason. The mind that de-stresses itself is the mind that can quiet itself. A quieting mind is a healing mind. A busy mind has no time for healing. So we're constantly distracted by a world of hundreds of thousands of stimulations outside of us. We hate the idea of just being alone and being quiet. the average American might find 20 minutes a day of total quiet when they're in the bathroom. And that's about it. Because we have radios and TVs and telephones, and we're always busy. There are cultures, however, where that's different. Any of you ever been to Italy? To the countryside in Italy? It's interesting to watch this. These people just take their time, you know, and they take their time eating. They eat one dish at a time. Do you ever watch Italians eat? A great concept. You're given one plate, and you look at it and say, that's a small amount of food. And then they say, well, put your fork down out in between each bite and let's talk. Well, Americans are, it's like an erector set. Their arm never stops. It's just like this, nonstop. You know, and sometimes big mouthfuls, right? You wonder, how can a person swallow that? The Italians just take their time. They have a glass of red wine, which has proanthocyanins, which protects the heart, anti-aging nutrients right in the wine. That's one of the reasons they live long lives. They're drinking red wine. Has low alcohol content. It's good for them. And they're eating stuff that they grow themselves. Every single square foot has something growing. Herbs. They'll throw rosemary in. They'll throw dill and thyme in. They'll throw oregano. And garlic is in everything. That garlic helps prevent high blood pressure. Want to bring down your blood pressure? Bring down your cholesterol? Kill parasites? Garlic, onions, sauteed. So anyhow, I sit and I eat with these people. It takes 2 hours to eat a meal. Americans eat in about 5 minutes, right? Then they get indigestion. Then they're angry. They eat allergy-producing foods, constipated-producing foods, and they walk around just angry about everything. Did you notice how angry we are as a society? How can you de-age? How can you overcome disease and being angry about everything? Anger is a negative energy. Anger doesn't resolve conflict. Harmony and harmonizing does. These people have not forgotten the meaning and purpose of their life. We don't focus upon the essential qualities. We focus upon the non-essential. We've made the non-essential more important than the essential. Love, quality time, unconditional sharing, compassion, acceptance for one another, breaking down all these artificial barriers of wealth and privilege and race and class, and just looking at people as people. That has a lot to do with how we age or don't age, in disease or non-disease. These are simple lessons. You see, we try to think that because the question is complicated, the answer must be complicated. I've never had a complicated question that required a complicated answer. Simple answers. And stop making all these little things more important than what they are. They're little things. And by the way, what is a great way to de-stress? Exercise. That's a very important part. Exercise. Power walking is one good thing. Power walking, it's simple. You just go out each day and you just walk. Just simple walking, you just move your arms. By the way, most walking, you don't move your arms. Heel, toe, and you just walk. I'm just going to walk around the stage. Here's normal walking. And all we're going to do is go from normal walking to power walking. We're going to relax our hips and we're going to move our arms. And you open your mouth and breathe and you lean about 5 degrees in. 5 degrees so that body momentum is carried. Now I can walk at a 6 minute per mile pace, which is a fast pace. I'm just doing it real slow to show you. Now see, when you're moving your arms at right angles like this, you're exercising this whole upper body and chest and back, and that's good because it burns up all this fat in here. All right? And when you're striking out here, you're using your strongest muscle in the body, your gluteus, your butt. All right? So think of all the cellulite you have. De-aging. De-age your butt. Your rear end should be no bigger than mine. That's it. So, all right? And your waist is going to come in, your belly's going to flatten out. Men with those beer bellies, not good for the prostate. So we can get it flat. How? Because every time you take a step in power walking, you're exercising these muscles. You're de-aging them, all right? So your legs are strengthening. You're getting more stamina, endurance. You breathe with the mouth open, breathe deep, diaphragmatic breathing, nice and easy. And then what you do, you try to increase your pulse as you power walk, and you do this 5 days a week for 45 minutes. And what's nice is, women in particular, this forces calcium into your bones and helps prevent osteoporosis. This reverses that aging of the body when human growth hormone, which decreases with aging, this ups it and increases it. So You create better mood. Why? Because exercising floods the brain with a hormone, a system of hormones. It is called the walking calm. 45 minutes of power walking creates brain hormones that relax you, the endorphins, for 6 hours. Changes your metabolism so you lose weight easier without dieting. Increases circulation so you have better circulation to your extremities. There are foods that will calm you and de-stress you. Which foods? Well, how about those that are rich in calcium and magnesium, such as oats, all right, very big, your green vegetables, kale, broccoli, arugula, Swiss chard, watercress, colored greens, beet greens, carrots. These have nutrients that can calm the system. Calcium, magnesium are two of the best. But what else will calm you down? The supplements that will calm you down. You want to deal with depression? By the way, anyone in this room find that you have found yourself less stressed and less depression when you've been on this kind of program? Look at the hands. Look at the hands. Look at all these people. Remember, by de-stressing yourself, you're de-aging yourself. You're reversing the aging process of the brain. Now that means that you're rejuvenating yourself, because the more calm you are, the more rejuvenation is occurring, more cleansing is occurring, because the energy is then going into rejuvenating and cleansing and de-aging than in disease. Now let's talk about rejuvenation of the brain. How are we going to rejuvenate that brain? How are we going to de-age your brain? You're 55, let's de-age your brain back to 30. Right off the bat, drink 1 gallon of water a day. Our brains dehydrate because we don't drink enough. Let's get the water back into the brain. Senior citizens in particular don't drink enough. Let's also include as a part of that our juices. Remember, the more healthy juices with all the live enzymes and nutrients, the healthier you're going to be. Now, what to eat to help the mind and emotions? Eat smaller meals. The whole grains. Mind you, we have grains people never eat. Quinoa, amaranth, teff, bulgur, buckwheat, oats, groats, rice, millet. Millet's a great alkalizing grain. It tastes good. And we don't eat these things. We eat the same limited diet. Let's put adventure, let's put passion back into our diet. And what are the nutrients that also help the brain? Vitamin C. Now, how many people in here, and let's go to some success stories, have overcome stress, depression, and rejuvenated their mind and memory using the program I'm talking about? One that's easy to do, that anybody can do, that's inexpensive, that can be applied. All right, let me just, come on up. Anyone else, just come over here and get in line, come over there and get in line. We want to hear your story.
Where do you begin? All I can say is I'm 73 and I feel like I have so many projects that I want to do, and now I can do them. Before I started this, they were just too much. I said, oh, I'll never get to it, I'll never get to it. Now I'm seeking new projects, and they're all coming to life because I see the negative in my life. What's negative in my life, I'm going back in and seeing the negativity, bringing it right up into full focus, and going in and touching and retouching the spots that I know are not right.
So you're detoxifying the negative emotions, replacing them with positive, life-affirming emotion. You can stay positive in a negative world. You can stay non-toxic around people who are toxic.
Exactly.
What diseases have you been able to overcome?
Well, the first one I overcame was I have a hiatic hernia. And they were giving me all these heavy medicines at the VA to stop it. And once I started this program, gone.
What else?
Another one I've overcome is my head. My brain. My brain was killing me because I was destroying myself by saying, I can't do this, I can't do this. And I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
So you've empowered yourself.
Through the juicing, through the concept of the greens. The thing that has made the biggest movement in my life is your grains and greens and the green stuff.
Do you see now that you're actually are able to reverse your aging process?
Yes, I do. No question about it.
Okay, thank you.
You're quite welcome.
Hi.
My name is Peter, and I had terrible food allergies and chemical sensitivities all my life. And it got to the point where I didn't know what to do, and I heard that you were doing an allergy group, and I started doing the protocol, and I've just had tremendous benefits, and I have almost no allergies at all. I stay away from high gluten foods, but even if I have a little bit of them now, they're not the reaction I used to have. One of the really terrible reactions that I did have was that we have terrible depression. I had a lot of cerebral reactions, a lot of forgetfulness, problems with memory. No more. I don't get depressed like I used to get. I used to be so terribly depressed, like I couldn't get out of bed. I just wanted to curl up and just stay away from everybody. It was really a bad scene. And now I feel terrific.
No allergies, no depression.
None.
Go, give me $1. I didn't charge anybody for that. Come on down, thank you. Hi.
Hi. Well, a year and a half ago, I was using a breathing machine 4 times a day. I was on 3 different inhalers, and I was on 3 different drugs for emphysema. And today, the only thing I'm on is your program, and I'm power walking 6 miles a day, and I feel about 20 years younger, and I'm 50 pounds less, and it goes on and on. Thank you.
Thank you. Who else?
I'm an RN. I work nights. I have an alternating day-night schedule, and this is enough to throw everything off and cause depression. But at 55, I feel more energy than I had when I was 25. And in fact, I feel like I've tapped into ultimate energy. It just flows. And all I have to do is be there, unencumbered by negative lifestyle or negative diet, and just let it flow and direct it as I choose now, according to my nature and my passions, and according to the need around me. I'm realizing my dream of helping in the world, and I have enough energy to do it. So I've never felt better.
Good. Thank you. So what have we learned? We have learned that we can de-age the mind by feeding it the right nutrients and feeding it the right thoughts, by reaffirming our right to love ourselves no matter who else doesn't love us, that we are the beginning and end of how we feel. It's up to us. We're our only problem and we're our only solution. It takes taking the time and commitment, a commitment that you count enough that you're going to reprioritize your time starting today, that now you're going to see that you have a choice in everything, and look at the results. Overcoming lifelong allergies and asthma, overcoming emphysema where you had to be on a respirator 3 to 4 times a day in medications, overcoming 90% occlusion of the arteries, overcoming hiatal hernia. And if these aren't enough, I have 700 other people who just finished a study of a year and a half doing just this same, reversing the aging process, simple changes. We like to think that, oh, gee whiz, it has to come from Harvard or MIT in a test tube where they genetically engineer something. Look, the only reason they're looking there is because that's where the money is. They like to think that the only way you can control aging is to have a proprietary drug. I say we don't need the drugs to control aging because we don't need a drug to affect how we feel, how we eat, and the selections we make.
Part 3, Repairing the Spirit.
For those of us who care about our health and don't want to get prematurely old and want to reverse the aging that has occurred because of faulty living, we now know it's about choices. And we know it's about commitment. How much of a commitment are we willing to make to ourselves? Now, it may seem self-evident. Well, sure, we'll make a complete commitment. We don't want to get sick and age. Okay, but standing between you and ideal health is all of your values and your beliefs. And sometimes they don't reconcile with health. Sometimes they actually create disease, in which case you're going to have to identify those qualities and get them out of your life and replace them with life-affirming values. And that's what this segment's about. We've learned already that we have to make the right selection with foods, and we can't just have comfort foods. So we're detoxing, cleansing, rejuvenating, and rebuilding. We learned about rejuvenating the mind and the nutrients and how to de-stress and not let everything become a stress crisis. Looking at things in proper perspective. Are we living in the moment? Living in the moment means that you've created balance again. You're detoxifying your lifestyle. If you can't live in the moment, then wherever else you're living is toxic. If you can't honor your life, then whoever's life you are honoring is toxic. And all that's aging you prematurely. Learn how to make better judgments. And how do you make better judgments? Trust in your intuition. There's a reason we have intuition. We've been led to believe that only science can provide us the answers with life. That's wrong. Science can provide us with some answers, and science can improve the quality of our lives on many levels, but it cannot replace the essentialness of our spirit. That is something that is non-mechanistic, non-linear, non-Newtonian. That is something that is holistic. It is complete. All we have to do is go within. Why are baby boomers in particular in trouble? Because we've tried so hard to prove our value and worth. Whatever we had was never enough, and we didn't want to have just what our parents had because we didn't think they had enough. So we wanted to show everyone that we would be smarter, get more educated, make more money, buy better things, and be prouder of ourselves. Well, look at all the major diseases today. Look at how many families have kids that they bought all the right educational tools for, give them all the right classes in karate and dance and singing and ballet, and the kids are on drugs. The kids are alienated from their own parents. Because the one thing those baby boomers might have forgot along the way is nothing in the world replaces that little passage of time at each year of a child's life where the only thing that counts is you and your commitment to accepting the transition year to year of a child. The kid doesn't want the class, the kid wants us. How often are kids in classes because we force them in, because we want to perform to honor our ego needs? That's a wrong thing. If you're sharing as a human being and not allowing, whether you're male or female, young or old, rich or poor, educated or not, and where you take out all artificial separation, you're dealing one human being to another, then think of all that you can share. Think of the richness of a life that can be taken back into the community. Think of all the people who could help counsel children who need that counseling today. Think of all the truants and delinquents. Think of the people on crack cocaine and alcohol. Think of the people that need counseling. Think of the people who needed someone there when they were making a transition and had no one there, made the wrong choices. It's not too late to change some of those choices. We are all different life energies. We're not all the same. We've been told that we all need the same amount of vitamins. We don't. We've been told we have the same lifestyle. We shouldn't. That if we all live in the same community and work at the same job, we should have all the same needs. We don't. Some of us are creative, and therefore our needs are different. We're more passionate about life and relationships and work. Some of us are more like worker ants. We're more productive at specific issues, and we don't want to see the big picture. Some people don't see the small issue, can't do details, but love big pictures. They're conceptualizers. Why can't we understand that we're each unique and honor our uniqueness instead of trying to fit our uniqueness into some standardized form and then wonder why we're always frustrated, working at jobs we feel frustrated by, underutilizing our potential as human beings? How many people underutilize themselves and then get angry, so they drink, or they take drugs, or they gamble? They do something destructive to take off the edge, so they sublimate. If we were a happy society, if we were spiritually connected, we wouldn't be rushing off all the time to do something destructive. I would suggest the following. I would suggest that we take time to decide, who are we really? Who are you really? What makes you different? What would you love to do? Now, I didn't say what can you do. You may be imperfectly trained to do something that you don't like doing. Right now in this moment, to stop and reverse your aging process, you have to decide who you want to be when you finally grow up. And how many times did you perfect someone else's life and now are angry because you got so successful, but there was no fulfillment? If there's no fulfillment in doing the little things, and you only think there's going to be fulfillment in the big things, you have bought into the wrong life energy. So honor who you are. I know friends of mine who are lawyers decided one day they didn't like being lawyers. One of them is an animal keeper and works in a children's zoo and is delighted, so happy. He's lost weight. He is detoxified. He sticks with a healthy relationship. Before he had multiple relationships, they were all toxic. He was toxic. Well, how do you expect not to infect everything you touch, including people, if you're not healthy and happy? So honor who you are. And how you do that is spending quality time alone, introspection through prayer, through meditation, through guided visualization, through affirmation. But decide that whatever you're thinking in your heart of hearts, that's the process you're going to follow. Start over. Who says that we can't change our lives? We can change our lives. There's no law that says you have to stick with a career because you were educated in it. No, change if it means change. Get out of unhealthy situations and start over. Now, as far as diet and juices and to help each of these groups, remember, we want to revitalize, rejuvenate, restore, and rebalance. And that's what we can do on this program. By taking in every day 4 glasses of fresh organic vegetable and fruit juices. We know that these help rejuvenate, cleanse, and eliminate toxins and rebuild tissue. We know that we don't have to be eating all the food we're currently eating, but that means making a commitment to be 100% in control of our own life. And when you're in charge of your own life, you're not going to be eating garbage anymore. You're not going to want it. People say, Gary, aren't you tempted by a hamburger? Why should I be? Why can't I have a tofu burger or no burger and have something else? I eat different food every single day. Eating the way I eat is not boring. Eating the way you eat, that's boring. I mean, you have the same basic 5 foods just made in different ways every day. I eat different things every single day because I'm using everything in nature. When was the last time you had kohlrabi, rutabaga, parsnips, right? We don't even think about the foods, plantain, because they're not what we were conditioned to eat. Break the habit. We need to contribute to the community and to the world. We are in this moment. We have a lot of people suffering. There are over 60 million Americans under an income level that we would consider adequate to their needs. The 30 million Americans who will go to bed tonight without food. We as a society have to reaffirm our spiritual connection to those who are more needy. And it can't just be by a blind check off to a trust or some charity. Personally engage in helping people. If it's wintertime, go out there and buy 2 or 3 sleeping bags and give those to homeless people. It'll help them. Remember, no matter what age you are, you can do something to help others. There's a lot of success when we rejuvenate ourselves spiritually, and we can't leave that out of the equation. I said something earlier. I said that I used to counsel a lot of people and didn't find that there was a lot of benefit because I didn't counsel on the spiritual or emotional level. Now I do counsel on the spiritual and emotional level. Try to get people to reevaluate what their beliefs are. Are your beliefs toxic? Look, if your beliefs are toxic, what you do is going to be toxic. You're going to be toxic, even if you don't want to. You have to have the honesty to look at your values and beliefs and say, are these something I want to honor? Are these good? Or are they reactionary? Are they racist? Are they sexist? Are they biased? Do they exclude other people? In which case, they're not healthy. You don't have to be a shaman or a saint or a guru or anyone else to appreciate that we have a lot of room to grow with our spirit. Let's go out here and see how some of you all have changed and what you've done. Hi.
I'm 62 years young. I never felt younger or better. I can't remember how far back I felt. Even in my 20s, I was doing nicotine and caffeine and not eating right. Now I have what I love to call EE, endless energy. And it's just, I don't have to do anything about it. I just keep working your program. And it sounds silly, but it just feels good to feel good. It feels good to know that I am maximizing my chances to use my physical, mental, spiritual capacities to have optimal health all the time. Great things have happened to me physically. I used to get every year 2, 3, 4 nasty, draining, drippy, yucky colds. I hated them. They demoralized me. They took like 2 weeks, 3 weeks to go away. Last winter, not one cold didn't even come near me. And I'm just so pleased about that. I don't have to bother about colds anymore. And also I had like stabbing arthritic pains in my wrists and my hands, no more of those pains. But mainly, like I say, it just feels good to know that I'm on top of my life, I'm on top of my health, and that part of me that I know to be spiritual, that inner part of me just is kicking in now. Don't have to do any more about it, just stay healthy and happy. Thank you.
I'm a nutrition specialist, and I see thousands of people, especially the ones that have been doing this, who have been in the studies. And I'm a research bug, so when they would come with the studies, and I would see how wonderful they were behaving for different reasons. I would look at the protocols to see what was going on, exactly what they were doing, and it's in the scientific literature. It's not something that's new. It's there for everyone to see. And what's exciting about it is there's one central theme to it all. And the theme is more energy, they're doing exercise, and what they're all saying is how easy it is to do. So their biological markers have changed. They have reversed the aging process. So it's just there for everyone to see, and it's just amazing. I mean, people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s are saying, I sleep less, I don't feel as if I'm my age, I feel 20. Well, I'm here to say that the good news is we can reverse it all. And I've seen it happen countless number of times. And the basic thing is change your diet, be more diligent in your exercise, and you all can do it. It's very doable. It's just a tremendous difference.
Is this your husband here?
This is my husband.
Buzz, what's changed in your life?
I've become a great athlete. I've done 10 marathons. I just signed up for my 11th one. I feel like I'm 25, and I'm raring to go. I have plenty of energy.
How old are you, Buzz?
63.
63. Have you won any races?
Yes.
How would you compare your body now to, let's say, when you were 40?
I used to be obese, believe it or not. I used to be over 200 pounds.
How much do you weigh now?
I weigh 160, and I've been 160 for the last 12 years. I haven't deviated a pound up or down.
And have you noticed a difference in your energy level?
Yes.
Your memory?
Memory's good, energy's good. I go all day long. I put in a lot of hours a day. I work 7 days a week.
Is this a hard program to follow?
No. You just
do you
have
think
to...
the average American watching right now could say they could do this?
They can do it if they want to make the commitment. That's the whole thing.
I've had great success with my skin from your programs, Gary. I celebrated my 40th birthday about 3 weeks ago, and 20-year-old guys still ask me for my phone number. So I have no wrinkles, and it just feels great to have great skin through eating right and juicing every day.
Okay, thank you. You're the administrator of a nursing home.
Yes, my name is Tom Gallen. I work at Margaret Teach Nursing Home, Jamaica, New York.
A lot of people, myself included, don't like the way a lot of nursing homes are run. It's been a dumping ground for a lot of people's mothers and fathers. They no longer have productive and useful lives. They're treated, unfortunately, with psychoactive drugs when they're not psychotics. They're fed abysmal diets, and then there's no reason that they should be dying. Are you going to try to reverse this process by establishing protocols like the ones we discussed here, that if they can help these people overcome disease, why can't they help people in nursing homes?
Absolutely, but first I have to start with myself. Started with the detox program, started with my mind and my body and my spirit. Those are the most important things that I can do. Once I have completed myself, then I can start with my organization, with my staff, with the residents in nursing home. There is a future and a promise for the elderly in this country. This detoxification, going with vitamins, minerals, nutrients, exercise, and the spirit, very important, that this can be a reversal for aging, for disease that currently exists, and we can do it.
Good. I look forward to you being a part of that change.
Thank you so much, Gary.
I'll give this wager. Anyone who owns a nursing home out there, if you have the courage to take on a holistic protocol, I'll give you the protocol and I'll work with you, and let's watch within 1 year. You give 1/2 the people in your nursing home the protocol these people are going under, the people in this audience would use, and we'll see if we can't get those people out of the nursing home back into life again. Nursing homes shouldn't be the last stage before death. It should be a way of recuperating our energy, revitalizing, reversing, rejuvenating, and getting back into life, and that's what we can do. There's no... Is there a fountain of youth? Well, there's no magic panacea. It can't be done overnight. It does take a commitment. It does take wanting to love yourself enough that you're willing to make all the changes we've been talking about. Is it doable? You bet. These are just average, normal people from all walks of life. They have created a positive attitude and they believe that their life is changing. It has changed from all kinds of illnesses. Why can't it change for you too? It's not complicated. You can do it. And I hope you do. Thank you all very much.